Welcome back everybody to the Gaming with Flash YouTube channel. Of course, I am Flash, and thank y'all again for joining me for another Marvel Snap video. If you could do me a big favor, and if you get some enjoyment out of this video, maybe some information, go ahead and hit me with a like. Please subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend so we can continue our positive growth on this channel. All of that being said, today's deck that I want to talk about is a deck that I've been playing, let's see, throughout the first 24 hours of the new season. I was able to hit infinite, and primarily that was with this deck. It is a destroy deck that uses Shang-Chi. Let's get right into it, shall we? So what we have here is, again, a standard destroy list for the most part. And I say standard meaning what we've come to know as a standard destroy list, the strongest of which kind of including the Deadpool and now the newly buff slash nerfed Hulkbuster. Sorry about that. But this was a list that had been going around with Dracula. Like, we had that Dracula destroy list that performed very well at a recent like the recent Lambie tournament, and this is pretty much that same deck minus Dracula, just including Shang-Chi. You know, you'll see some builds where people put a few tech cards in, right? They'll probably put Shang-Chi and Enchantress. I've seen that done, and or Shang-Chi and Rogue. Like, you know, people play around. You know, obviously there's other destroy builds where people use Arnim Zola instead. I prefer this route. And this one specifically, you know, with Shang-Chi in it, it allows you to do some things throughout the course of the game that aren't necessarily an option all the time, right? So generally, right, you're looking to drop a null, right? So for those of you, let me just take you through some play lines of this deck. If you're not familiar with destroy, it's very straightforward. We're going to get some gameplay in, but I just want to talk about it. You know, we've got Deadpool in here. We've got Forge to buff up Deadpool or whatever else. If sometimes you might find yourself in situations where you just need to use Forge to buff something else, X-23 or Wolverine, cards that are going to perpetually stay on the board, that's a good option. If you want to buff up something like, you know, your Killmonger, Carnage, or Venom, go ahead and do that. Nico, because she has a lot of variance, right, in terms of what she can add to destroy. Heck, she has that one ability that is the Forge ability, right? So she has that. She has the destroy card and it draws 2 cards. She has the ability where she copies a card, right? You play a card and then she adds a copy of that card to your hand, in essence giving you another destroy piece that you have another access to using. A second Carnage, a second Venom, a second Killmonger, right? Nico is very strong in this deck, and she's kind of found one of her quintessential homes, if you will. So like if you're building a destroy deck, you're kind of just putting Nico in, right, as a baseline. Yeah, that's an inclusion card. Hulkbuster, you want to Hulkbuster, you want to be Hulkbustering the Deadpool, obviously. But if all else fails, you can Hulkbuster Wolverine, you can Hulkbuster X-23, because again, those are cards that perpetually just remain on the board regardless of what happens. So that's a good thing. And there's all of those things to get you a free death or something close to free is a good option. And of course, we got one of the big finishers for destroy, which is null. Now, where Shang-Chi fits in is one of those things where on turn 6, if you have gone off, you've done enough destroy things, you've got a big Deadpool, right? We're talking 16, 20 something, 36 power, right? If you have a big enough Deadpool, your death is probably 0 at that point, right? Because you've destroyed a lot of things. So now what you have, you find yourself in a situation on turn 6 where, and let's say you've destroyed an X-23 on turn 5. So now you have 7 points of energy available to you. You can do a null Deadpool, right? Or there are times where you pivot and you say, you know what? My opponent's going to be looking for the null. I'm going to pivot. They got something big on the board. I'm going to Shang. I'm going to play Death. And I'm going to play that big Deadpool. And I'm just going to completely catch them off guard, right? And this is what happened throughout pretty much my entire climb to Infinite in that first 24 hours. This deck is performing. I played about, I think the exact number here was about 130 games-ish. 133 games, I think. With this deck, 72% win rate and 1.33 cube rate, which is very, very good. It's a strong deck. Destroy always performs well when we stumble into, a new meta or at the reset of the season. Destroy is always a deck that performs very well. So let us get into some games. All right. So as I've said before, Destroy is very strong. And I'm going to play some games here in Infinite, right? It's a deck that I'm confidently using. I don't feel like I'm going to lose any rank here. Not really. Nivalier is also a very good location for Destroy. Because, oh, by the way, just so you know, Destroy has a crap ton of locations that are friendly for Destroy. Nivalier is great in a way where what a lot of people don't realize, or it took a long time for people to realize, Venom gets to keep all this power, and Null recognizes it as that power Destroy. So even though Nivalier is not a, let's see, we're going to play Nico and then hopefully copy something. We are going to, Nivalier is not a static, like buff power location, right? The cards that are played there don't keep their power perpetually, but Venom thinks they do. And the same thing with Null. Null just cares about pure power of whatever was destroyed. So it's a fascinating concept. Okay, so we're a little bit lacking here, but we will play Killmonger because we got to do something. We got to get some Destroy going. It's turn 4. We haven't destroyed much. Our opponent hasn't played anything for 3 turns. So most cases I would just snap here, but for the sake of the video, for the sake of the content, we will let it ride. But as I've said, this deck is not doing anything fancy, right? This is just a straightforward Destroy. I didn't build this deck from scratch or anything like that. I was just like, oh, let me put Shang-Chi in here. Very simple, right? Nothing that hasn't been done before in some way, shape, or form. But I just like to show off the fact that I performed exceptionally well with the deck, right? It did very well for me, and here's how type of thing, right? Okay, so you see we have options. We have options. I'm probably going to say let me do Wolverine, or I could do, let's do Wolverine actually. Let's do Wolverine into Venom, and then next turn, well, again, options. Or I'll tell you what, even better than that is let's do the Deadpool with Venom. That way we at least have an option for, okay, and they're playing a Sarah deck here. And I have priority, which is not great. I don't love that, but we can maybe get out of this. Now, my options here are just play Null, right? Which our opponent is going to be looking for, especially playing Sarah Control or Sarah whatever. Not necessarily Sarah Control. I think what I want to do here is just destroy the Atuma and play this Deadpool, or let's play the Deadpool middle with X-23. I know he's thinking, well, why not put that extra power into Nivalier? They're probably going to play a bunch of cards, some of which in the Nivalier. If they out card me in Nivalier, like, I'm going to lose easily. So let me bank on the fact that they might not play a lot of cards middle. Now, if this is Shang-Chi, I can outpower them with my couple of other cards. I assumed I was going to be able to outpower them, but that did not happen. Oh, wait, that's going to bring back Magneto. It's not going to pull enough of the cards over for me to win. Oh man, that almost... So here's the fun fact, is that if I had played the Deadpool and the X-23 into Nivelier, I actually would have ended up stealing that game right out from under our opponent unsuspectingly. Considering the fact that they had the Sarah play, right? I mean, sorry, not the Sarah play, the Lady Sif play early. You can assume that Ghost Rider is a possibility, especially when they don't have like Black Knight on the board. But it's fine. It's fine. But one thing that I wanted to point out is that, you see, even though we lost, there was an avenue to victory. We weren't like completely blown out of the water, right? Of all the games that I played with this deck, you generally don't get rolled over. You have bad draws, bad locations, and you kind of just have to concede some of the time. But otherwise, you're in pretty much every matchup, which is a rarity. But that's just how good Destroy is. It's strong. It goes... Destroy also has a unique ability to be able to, say, at the end of the game, go really tall if they want, or spread big power evenly across the board, which is a unique ability. Okay, so we got the hood out, right? They've got Forge. Could this be a bounce deck? Probably. I mean, it could be. Let's find out. Shoot. Okay, this is fine. Let's go Deadpool into I actually don't want to play anything else here, because Nico's going to destroy the Deadpool and we're going to get 2 cards. And then next turn I can Hulkbuster. Oh, this is good. This is good. We've got several options that we can we have some avenues we can explore here. Like, I can go Forge into Deadpool into Carnage, which is really good. I could have just, instead of doing that, I could say, okay, let me do Forge into... Oh, put the Forge in another lane. I could say Forge into Deadpool into Hulkbuster. And then next turn, I have the option to do X-23 and Carnage on the Deadpool. So let's actually do that. Let's do that. we're getting going late, but Deadpool has that unique ability to scale really quickly. So we don't need a lot of turns to get things going with Deadpool. Okay, so now he's a 9, which means we destroy him here and he's going to be an 18 going into the last turn. And for the sake, I can actually do the Wolverine, X-23, Carnage, and we can do something really nice next thing. Again, I would use Snap here usually, but we're gonna not do that. Our opponent is also gonna have to play around my Killmonger. So what they don't want is to have priority with all those ones that are going to try to flood the board with on this last turn. They might even play Black Swan right here. But they don't want priority is the problem that they're going to run into. And they might actually assume priority if they play out too many cards. I think we just win, honestly, but we'll see what happens. We're in a good position, especially depending on what we draw off the top. There's a werewolf. Okay, so yeah, there's a good chance they'll have priority. We'll see. I hope they do. Oh, there's the yeah. So they have priority. So they're not in the. This is not a good position that my opponent wants to be in. Right, because now all I'm just gonna do is just play Killmonger. Actually, I'll play him in the middle. Yeah, let's at least have him stay on the board. because Danger Room is one way or another probably going to be a lost cause. So let's play Killmonger and Deadpool. Just trying to figure out the lane. Yeah, that's it. That'll work. That's fine. We have the advantage again because we managed to curtail around having priority. And they're going to have to play a bunch of ones. And I say a bunch, but they're going to play a demon. They're going to play a bunch of high power, some high power one cost cards that I just get to Killmonger. Unless they bring Kyera to the party. Which is a possibility. Especially considering that Beast, just got nerfed and his cost has come down. Nerfed. Side grade, whatever you want to call it. He got adjusted, right? Alright, what do you got? You got a demon, you got a demon, you got a demon, and Hit Monkey. Yeah, that's it. That's GG's. So, like I said, not that we're done here, but this game is done. They're finished. They're cooked here. The Hit Monkey. Yeah, I get it. I get why you don't want Werewolf to move from there. That's the only way you play that out, right? If I was him, I would have put some stuff into Jotunheim. It's not like it would have mattered, but sometimes you might want to split the difference a little bit. Like I said, this is a very strong deck because it gives you the option to go, look, we didn't even have to play Null, right? But you have to know what you're going up against and how you can play around it, right? Okay, so I'm going to float here because I don't necessarily have a reason to just put Deadpool out on the board with nothing to buff him up with. I don't mind getting a copy of Deadpool, but with nowhere to go with it kind of leaves me like wanting. Like it's not great. I'll do it. It's fine. I think it's, it's not the ideal play, but for the sake of having what we have and not knowing what we're going to pull off the top of our deck. Okay, X23. I think I have to like Venom right now. You can tell I don't love all what's happening with this hand, right? Let's do yeah, let's just do the Killmonger first. That way we can stack just that little bit of extra power into Kiln. Coming down with Venom. That's fine too. Okay. That is fine. I can live with that. Carnage here would have been great, but sometimes you don't have what you need. Yeah, I thought that would probably be something big. It's okay. We can work around it. Potentially we can work around it, right? Like if I get Carnage here, that would be great because he's probably gonna, okay, well, not so great, especially because I have priority, so that makes it even worse. 5 energy. Deadpool X23. Yeah, and the fact that I have priority doesn't make this great. We're not in a good spot. I'll say that. We're not. This isn't good. See, now all I'm... Yeah, this is pretty much a concede here. But again, like a lot of decks, you know, card draw is important. For Destroy, it's even more important because it has one goal. It's not a lot of decks that do well in Snap are decks that can go in different directions and have different win conditions. Destroy has one direction and one win. Well, let me not say that. It has one goal: destroy things. Some of other decks have different goals. Like even you look at a deck like Shuri Phoenix Force, right? You can go Shuri Taskmaster, Shuri Red Skull Taskmaster. You can go Shuri Nimrod, whatever. You can go Shuri. You can do the Phoenix Force. You know, multiple man human. Like it has options, but Destroy has one option: destroy. Now, whatever your win conditions are, depending on the style of Destroy deck you're going, whether it's this route, whether it's with Arnim Zola, whether it's, you know, you have options. But, I mean, you have different, like, end game options. But the pathway to the end game option is generally always going to be the same. Just destroy things. Okay, so I don't know. I kind of want to just play Null. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's just play Null. It's not always a great option to do this, but hey, I know one thing they're not going to do is play Enchantress in the middle lane. I know that's not about to happen. Now, they could have something like Rogue, though, which would not be great. And if they're playing a Loki deck, that's not great either, because that means that they Loki, they have a chance of getting my Shang-Chi, which is not good for us. Which, as I learned, a Loki matchup is not great for this deck. Not considering, I like having Shang-Chi in it. Like, no, this is not a great matchup. Yeah, I don't have. Yeah, we're just gonna play Killmonger, which I should have already done, but it's okay. Super Giant, huh? Huh. Interesting. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do with that Super Giant. I'm going to play Shang-Chi. I'm not sure where. Trying to figure out what lane that's going to be in. Because if they want to play something big, what lane would it be in? Probably this one. So let's do that. I don't like the fact that... Yeah, this is... It's not ideal. I'd almost rather put Death down and say, hey, well, I have that also as an option. Or just put Shang over here, Nivelier. Maybe. Hey, remember we talked about options before, right? Yeah, let's just do that. Yeah, let's just do that. I don't know what they put in that left lane, but I don't know, maybe it's like Doom or something. Do I do Forge into Death? See what happens. I'm curious. I don't know what. I hope that's not. Well, I mean, I have priority, so Eliath is not a cause for concern, I think. Yeah. Okay, there's a Shang for them middle. But they didn't bring enough power in the left lane. You sure didn't. I don't know. Well, what is that card? And how much? Oh, they did. By 1 point. 1 point. Got them off the hook there. That's crazy. Yeah, I should have played the Shang left. I was close to doing that. But again, this is another prime example of come on, I'll get there. It's just another prime example of, even though we're losing some of these games, right? Obviously, I'm not gonna tell you, say here like this is 100% going to win you all the games, but 72% is a lot. We're in all of these games. If you look at these losses, except for that retreat that I had to get out of there, that one was like, oh yeah, we got completely location and draw hurt us the most. But these games that we're playing through to the end that we're losing, that one was 1 point. The other one was a matter of just like, I think it was almost 1 point, right? Or a couple of points with the Magneto in the left lane. We're gonna do Wolverine here. Yeah, I think. God, I hope that's not a bad idea. I'm setting up to hopefully have to put a Venom over here. That's not good. Into Deadpool. Hulkbuster next turn. Oof. Kyra takes my Shang play off the board. So now that's information. Now I know no matter what happens with Shang that he's not a play in this game. I have no way to disrupt Kyra, so that's off the board. Maybe they have Shang. Maybe. It's a Thanos deck. Of course they have Shang. Okay. Do you play this to replace that card's location? Well, regardless, we're just gonna play Nico and Killmonger. Should reduce the cost of death enough where I can play death with most things I pull off the top. I don't know what is he gonna play? Blob? I guess people are still doing that. Okay, 12 power Deadpool is good. Magneto. Well, I don't have anything to move, so we're just gonna do Death, X-23, Deadpool. Because if he has Blob, Thanos, almost. Again, 1 point. And again, it's just a matter of all of these games could go either way. If I put Death Deadpool right, put X-23 middle, boom, problem solved. Like, these aren't losses that couldn't be just go a different way based on a simple decision. It's very straightforward, right? It's very straightforward and very easy to play with, around. It's just, I'm not showing you any games here that aren't winnable. We've played one game thus far that wasn't winnable. Period. And this was a bad swap here for us with Death going down to 8 power. That's gonna suck, but we'll play it out until there's a snap or something. Yeah, it's not the worst thing that could happen. A lot of people playing Spider-Ham right now, so I should have been able to go Nico into X-23, but the peak ruined that. And again, you have to deal with location variance. You just, it's part of the game. It will hurt a lot of your games, just generally. See, because I should have been able to go X23 Carnage, but there's no guarantee that X23 is going to pop back into Pet Mansion, so let's not do that. Yeah, not having the Killmonger now is going to hurt. Ugh. That's really going to hurt. Okay, well. Killmonger would have been so good here, man. Jeez Louise. Okay, so we're just going to do Forge into Deadpool into Carnage. And because then all we would have to do is like float some priority. And the next thing you know, we're coming down with a Killmonger on turn 6. Boom. Ruin their whole board. That's okay. We still have good play here available. Things are going to get tight, right? Especially without Killmonger, but we can free up enough space. Dang, I wish that X23 would not have gone there. Killmonger was the play right here on this turn. For sure. Sheesh. At this point, I'm just gonna put Null down and just hope for the best off the top. Like Venom. Venom would be great here. Or if I end up having to keep priority, maybe he plays enough cards where Werewolf is big enough and I can snipe the Werewolf with Shang. If I pull that, because I got a 50-50 chance of pulling Shang or Venom. Venom is the better option for me here, obviously. Because this is why I put Null down on the board now. That way next turn, again, if I pull the Venom, I can get some destroy happening and Null's going to get a lot bigger. But it could also just be Shang. And I'm not sure he's going to move that Werewolf enough. If he gets it to stay, if he moves that Werewolf to the middle, and that's not like a demon, oh, he beasted. Perfect. Perfect. So now what we can do is we can, again, no matter which card we get off the top, okay, now we can work with something here. Venom middle, because that's the biggest power thing I could do there. Death, right? Deadpool. Let's put Deadpool right also. So you see, sometimes you have to play with what the cards give you. Sometimes you have to play around with the locations. Even though the location might screw you a little bit, you got to play around it. You can maybe still pull off a victory. I'm not saying we're going to win this game, but we have a chance still. So we're still in this. I would say it's just kind of a matter where it boils down, where he leaves that Werewolf. We'll see. Luckily for him, I didn't pull the Shang. I think either way would have been a strong end game here for us. I would have actually played this out the same way had I pulled the Shang. Shang middle, Death and Deadpool right. I think that was, no matter what, that's the play. Because no matter what happens, whether it's by way of Venom or by way of me Shanging his Werewolf, Null was going to get bigger. And our opponent figured that out. Sometimes you just can't contend with the power of Destroy. Even though sometimes, some games, it's not going, completely ape. It's not Destroy doesn't necessarily need the nut draw to be very, very good, right? So that's the deck. And I just want to thank everybody for spending some time checking that deck out with me. That is the Shang Destroy deck, as I've called it. But again, very straightforward to play. And like I said before, if you guys want to hit me with a like here, I'd very much appreciate it, right? Come on down, check me out on Twitch, check out one of my streams, right? I'm at Gaming with Flash X on Twitch. Check me out on Twitter. I'm at GWFlashX. I'm talking about Marvel Snap, interacting with Marvel Snap and the Marvel Snap community daily, pretty much at this point. And that's it. So I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.